The explorers Sarah, Mike, and Jess arrive at Black Hollow Asylum under the pale glow of the moon. The building looms ahead, its shattered windows like empty eyes staring into their souls. "This place gives me the creeps," Jess muttered, gripping her camera tightly. The asylum had been abandoned for decades, but whispers of its violent past persisted. Patients experimented on, doctors gone mad, and a mass disappearance stories that had kept locals far away. As they approached the iron gates, a sudden chill swept through the air. The padlock on the gate hung open, swinging gently as if inviting them in. The decision to proceed was unanimous but uneasy. The explorers stepped cautiously into the asylum's main hall. Dust danced in their flashlight beams, and the air was thick with decay. Faint whispers seemed to echo from the cracked walls, too faint to decipher but loud enough to unnerve. Mike led the way, his camera capturing every eerie detail. "Guys, look at this," he said, pointing to the floor. Strange symbols had been etched into the wooden boards, forming a circular pattern. Suddenly, Sarah froze. "Did you see that?" she whispered. The others turned just in time to see a shadow dart across the hallway. Jess gasped, "That wasn't one of us." They followed the shadow, their flashlights trembling. At the end of the corridor, they found a chair, rusty restraint still attached. On the wall behind it, words were scratched deep into the plaster. "They never leave." Peering into the asylum, they discovered a locked door with a rusted plaque reading "Restricted." With effort, they pried it open, revealing a corridor lined with small, claustrophobic cells. "This must have been where the worst patients were kept," Mike said, peering inside one of the cells. Inside, the walls were covered with frantic drone spirals, eyes, and distorted human figures. Jess filmed every detail, her eyes growing. As they moved further in, they found a room unlike the others. A makeshift operating table stood in the center, surrounded by ancient medical tools. The air was suffocating, thick with an unidentifiable smell. "Why would they need this here?" Sarah asked. Before anyone could answer, the door slammed shut behind them. The sound of footsteps, many footsteps, filled the hallway outside, though no one could be seen. The temperature in the room plummeted, their breath visible in the dim light. The sound of footsteps grew louder, joined by whispers that now formed words. "Get out." Suddenly, the lights of their cameras flickered, and a figure began to materialize in the corner. It was humanoid but grotesquely distorted, its face a patchwork of features, as if stitched together from multiple people. Sarah screamed, "What is that?" The entity moved closer, its movements unnatural, jerky, and aggressive. Mike grabbed the door, trying to force it open, but it wouldn't budge. The figure reached out, and with a sudden burst of energy, Jess's camera shattered in her hands. The room erupted in chaos as the entity let out an ear-piercing scream, throwing the explorers into darkness. Finally breaking free from the room, the explorers ran through the asylum's labyrinthine hallways. Every turn seemed to lead them back to the main hall, but it was distorted now, walls dripping with a black, tar-like substance, and faint screams echoing all around. Jess collapsed near the entrance, her eyes wide with terror. "We're not alone," she whispered. The others turned to see the entity again, now joined by more shadowy figures emerging from the walls. Each figure bore grotesque faces, their mouths opening wide to emit an unearthly sound. In a last desperate act, Sarah shouted, "The gate, run." They reached the entrance just as dawn began to break. Turning back, they saw the asylum fading into the fog. But something followed them, a shadow lingering at the edge of the trees. As the trio stood in silence, Jess's broken camera sparked to life, playing a recording none of them had made. "They never leave." The Forgotten Asylum isn't just a place, it's a trap, a nightmare that preys on those who dare to disturb its secrets. Some mysteries are better left buried, but curiosity always comes at a price.